and welcome to Tiny Table Talk for The Challenge Season 36, Double Agents Episode 19. This is it. This is the final episode of the main season. We have crowned the new champions of the challenge, and I wanted to do something special for this week's Tiny Table Talk, and I thought, why not just have the whole thing be a comment section where I go through the finals, I go through the season, commenting and replying through your comments that you left on my Thursday's review and recap, and I'm going to just try to highlight as many comments as I can in this video. So without further ado, let's get to the comment section. And we're going to start off this video with a comment from Gren Gabs, who says, I'm sad that Leroy didn't end up getting that W, but everyone performed so well in the final. In parentheses, well, everyone who was there on the second day. Props to Amber B for outrunning everyone and for CT proving that he's still got it. Yeah, I think the best ending would have been Leroy getting that championship at the end of this season, especially with being paired up with Nany, but everyone performed so well in the finals, and CT and Amber were just dominant. Next up, we have Corey Cleaver, who says, if you let CT get to a final with a partner who can run these days, it's a wrap. My dude killed every checkpoint, put another W in the column, and I think this is important to highlight because in the beginning of the season, everybody was talking about going after the champs and getting them out, and how important it would have been to getting every champ out early as possible. Yeah, CT was able to wiggle away from the anti-champ campaign, be able to get his goal, and got to the finals. And yeah, it was a wrap, especially with Amber crushing that running. I mean, she was leaving CT in the dust. The next comment comes from Tia Porto, who says, when TJ said Fessy and Casey were done and they started playing Karma Chameleon, best song choice ever. I was laughing hysterically. Really, the song choices throughout this season have been killer, but that song choice at that moment was amazing. Also, that song has been stuck on my head since that night, and now it's going to be stuck in my head for like the next 7 years. Joshua says, it was so satisfying seeing Fessy go home. I did feel bad for Casey because she tried, even when hurt. But I was so happy when Fessy timed out, but then he ruined it when he blamed Casey. By the way, the reunion seems like a giant roast session for Fessy, and I'm ready. Yeah, seeing the preview for the reunion, I think this is the most excited I've been for a reunion in a long, long time. I can't wait to see what happens, but also stating that and seeing in the preview for the reunion, it seems like Fessy is going to just like put his foot down and saying that he still is the best no matter what. And it's like, I don't think so. Abigail says, honestly, the true champion of this season was the editing team, LOL. I have to agree with that. I mean, yes, the editing was wonky in some places and in some episodes, but to see this challenge season first be put into play during a pandemic, but for how quick of a turnaround it is to put together a season so quickly after Total Madness, so quickly after filming it to give us a challenge season within the pandemic. Hats off to the editing team and their sound drops and everything. It was definitely something. It was definitely a season I wasn't expecting to have so soon, but I'm very happy that we were able to have a season. It's just Mitchie says Corey must have brought a crystal ball to the headquarters with him because Corey has been killing it with the predictions this season. I was snapping my fingers at his commentary. He knows Fessy better than I think Fessy knows Fessy, because he was calling how Fessy and Tori were gonna date and then they were gonna call it quits, and then confessionals about how he was gonna blame Casey. And I think Fessy should be worried about future seasons because I think Corey can figure out his kryptonite or try to like sabotage Fessy in some way because he knows what buttons to press and what to throw at him. The next comment comes from Tasia, who says, Fraudulent Fessy doesn't have the heart for this game. I don't want to hear any big talk from him next season. I completely concur. Amber proved herself, and I hope people give her due respect from henceforth. She had good partners but pulled her weight and got the W. If Leroy and Cam would have ran together, they could have pulled off first place. Leroy beat Corey and Cam could have easily fallen back and let Nany pass her so Leroy could leave the challenge with something. But she gave it her all for Corey and his girls' integrity and determination. She was the supreme partner this season. She absolutely carried. I think Leroy and Cam stood a good shot of putting up a good time or possibly pushing to get that win if they were to have ran together this final, but they decided to divide and conquer, which I totally understand that strategy, and I think I would have went that strategy as well. I saw a lot of comments thinking that Cam was going to throw this final to help Leroy win in some capacity, but I'm happy she didn't. I'm happy she pulled through and helped Corey win some money. And honestly, Leroy seems to have won the most out of everybody here for having found true love, going home with Cam, and also Cam's taking home $50,000, so meaning that Leroy is also taking home $50,000. Amanda says, anyone else tear up listening to Leroy talk at the end? It's the end of an era, so sad to see Leroy go, but got such goosebumps hearing him talk about his future with Cam. I loved it. I loved that moment in the ice cave where they were like talking about how happy and excited they were about everything that they have planned for outside of the challenge, outside of this final, and he just seems so happy. Dante Bradley says, was it just me or was this final more emotional than the recent ones? I immediately started tearing up seeing CT, Corey, Cam cry about their families and wanting to help. I wanted them all to win $1 million. You're not wrong that this final was definitely emotional, especially with this being Leroy's last season, him saying that it's over, seeing the montage of his challenge seasons, albeit pretty quickly of a montage, but I thought everyone had an emotional story, an emotional attachment of why they wanted to win. And yeah, I think anybody and everybody in these finals that ran in the second day, every single one of them was deserving of this money. It was just who was going to get first place. And yeah, I teared up. I teared up at the end. And G-Man comments, there are many things to criticize this season, but the last six standing all played well. CT, Amber, Corey, Cam, Leroy, and Nany took different paths, but deserved to be there. Also, shout out to Kyle, Big T, and Devin for providing entertainment. 100%. Angie comments, Fessy sitting on the rock, cause boys don't cry. Had me LMAO, shake my head. Fessy looked like he was placed in timeout during that scene, LOL. He did, he looked like he was like a kid wanting to go out and play with his friends, but couldn't until he ate his vegetables, and it was just really, really funny. Jay left a comment saying, I remember watching Leroy's Real World season and his first season of Rivals 1. I can't believe it's the end of an era, but I totally believe he might have a Brad moment and get the itch to do one more season, but maybe a few years down the line. I could see that happening as well. Leroy still has a lot of gas in the tank, and possibly he may want to go to All-Stars if there's more seasons and many more seasons of All-Stars, because it's a very quick filming season, and the money is $500,000. I mean, he would stand a good chance of winning a ton of money if he went the All-Stars route. Christian says, this being Leroy's last season was really sad for me. Only ever watched one season of Real World. It was Lee and Nany's season. Started watching the challenge on Rivals 1, Lee's first season. It was beautiful though. He started and ended his challenge career running a final with a member from his Real World cast. I didn't even put those two and two together, but you were correct. He ran with Adam in the beginning of Rivals. Then he ran with Michael as a replacement. They got to the finals and they took home third place. Now he's running with Nany, who is one of his best friends from his original Real World season, and they took home third place, albeit they finished this season at least. So yeah, it's almost like full circle. Lovable Nikki says, Corey is really Mr. MTV. We need his commentary on all seasons. He would be a great reunion host when he retires. Currently, we deserve Devin. I'm actually really surprised we are not getting Devin as the host or a co-host of this reunion. She killed it on the Aftermath, and I think that she should be host, and I'm surprised about that. Especially also that we haven't gotten Aftermath from the past 2 weeks because of it's the finals, and they're going to talk about it in the reunion, so I'm kind of disappointed that we're not going to get any more Devin for Double Agents. Callie O'Malley says, Corey's commentary was hilarious this season. Maybe we'll see Leroy on All-Stars one day, hopefully. When he was talking about his time on the challenge and how he had nothing left to give, I definitely got a little teary. I'm right there with you. I wonder if Casey will be as aligned with Fessy in future seasons after the way he blamed her and refused to eat. I think everyone should be keeping their eye on Fessy and being wary of Fessy. from seasons from here on out. I mean, from what he did to Nelson, how he was talking bad about all of his partners. One minute you could be called his friend, and then the next minute you're down in a hall brawl and he's playing dirty, ripping off your face mask. The next comment comes from Julia, who says, "This is one of the best finals I've seen in a long time. I really love how none of the men degraded the women like we have seen in so many previous finals. Corey was killing the confessionals, had me laughing so hard these last few episodes. Amber B is such a badass. Excited to see her in more seasons. Completely agree. I'm loving Corey. I think Corey is getting into the rhythm and the game. This was his 2 finals in a row in back-to-back seasons. Now he is coming back in the rumored cast list, and yeah, his confessionals are on point. He really did well this season, and yeah, Amber is, I think, going to be someone that is going to be a contestant and competitor coming back for season and season and seasons to come. Janio says, "Just wanted to give props to this final compared to last year's. We got a purge, puzzles, math problems, eating, endurance, rough terrain, and weather conditions, sleeping challenge, and rewards for winning checkpoints. It was good, well-rounded final." I kind of like that the final was a mixture of all the daily challenges that they had. It was almost like they were preparing them during the season instead of just throwing random like games at them. I mean, I thought some of the checkpoints on day 2 were a little quick, like the tanagram, and I thought that was a little just like thrown together and then they were just off. But I thought it was overall a well-produced and well-rounded finals. Saiyan Royalty says, "Did anyone else think Corey was going to die by falling on the cliff? Or was it just me?" I thought that too. First of all, I thought CT was gonna throw that tangram puzzle off the side of the cliff when he was trying to like break it off and make sure nobody could cheat off of him. But yeah, when Corey was like trying to run and then he slipped on the rocks and he was like, I thought something bad was gonna happen. That was like very precarious to be up on that cliff. Shireen says, "Not gonna lie, I got teary-eyed. I was really cheering for Leroy. CT is one of my favorites, but damn, I'd like to see someone else get that big win. We started watching this season from last year, longest season ever." Yeah, this season has felt like is been going on for forever, as we have had 19 episodes so far and we still have a reunion to go. Possibly a 1-part reunion, but maybe a 2-part reunion. JRed657 says, "The worst part about watching the show in Canada, we never got any of the amazing music you all keep saying was in the season." Really? Is that really a thing? They didn't put all the music in? That is so sad, because some of those music drops made those episodes. Like, those were some of the best parts of the episodes, were the music drops at certain points. Chalon says, "Nani, Leroy wants to sleep. Cam does not play when it comes to Lee, and I love it. They ran this season. Seeing them together in the finals made me so happy. I'm gonna miss Lee. So sad he didn't win, but can't lie. Seeing CT win after being called overrated was awesome." I really like that moment in the cave, because at night Leroy is like, "I need to get some sleep," and so he pokes at Nani and is like, "Hey Nani, I need to get some sleep," and then she says something unintelligible, like it says like they can't understand what she's saying, and he was just like, "Oh, okay," and then he got up and Cam was just like, "What'd she say?" And he's like, "I don't know." And you could just see like Leroy was gonna be like, "Oh, she's really tired, I'm gonna let her sleep," but in that moment Cam was like, "Look, Nani, get up. Like, Lee needs to sleep," and I loved it. Fourth Room Entertainment says, "CT's I knew it moment reminded me of Thor's reaction to Steve Rogers wielding Mjolnir." That was so good. Like, it felt like everyone was getting ready to go to sleep, and then Leroy was just like, "Oh yeah, by the way, this is my last season." And then CT like shot up and was like, "I knew it." That was great. The next comment comes from Randall, who says, "I would much prefer a Free Agents 2 to a Double Agents 2. 100% agree." And they're referencing the final scene of the season where it said challenge activated with TJ, and that's where I was like, I think it's going to be a Double Agents 2. We're going to have to wait and see, but I would love to see a Free Agents 2 much more than a Double Agents 2. Andrea says she can't wait to watch Fessy get called out. That's only why I'm watching the reunion. I think that's the only reason why I'm going to watch the reunion, because I'm not a huge fan of the reunions, to be honest. I think we already saw all that the season had to offer, and we're just going to be going over everything that happened, and we got a great post show. So to me, I feel like we've already talked about everything that's happened, but I want to see Fessy get dragged. Let's just have that going. Marcus Stevenson says, I'm so happy Amber and CT won. They both deserve it. It's just a little disappointing because Cam ran the season socially and politically, and the fact that she came up short sucked. And I feel bad that Leroy couldn't retire with a win. I hope Cam and Corey become champions before they retire. I think it will happen sooner rather than later. Like I mentioned, Corey is getting into a rhythm. 2 seasons, 2 finals, back to back, and he is on another level competitive-wise. He is getting better physically. I think he does need to get some apps to learn some of the math, but Cam is just killing it on all levels. I think she is great socially, politically, physically. Ryan says, Leroy's farewell montage was great until they put Leroy almost dying in the card challenge in his highlight reel. Why was that moment the editors chose to highlight? Yeah, I was very confused about that choice as well. Like, why put that moment in there? Leroy has been to 5 finals in his challenge career, and you couldn't highlight more of them? Like, you couldn't have highlighted more of his winning daily challenges or anything like that? I don't know, I thought that was weird as well. Certified Heavy Boy says, I wasn't crying during the Leroy montage. I had something in my eye. Yeah, it's called tears. We all had them. Derek says, Leroy found the love of his life on the challenge. He won in a whole other way. Always be a champ to me. Same here. I think he's going off winning more than anything he could have won on the challenge, and that is Cam and true love. Bella says, I love how there was only 3 kayaks all along, but TJ still tried to get Fessy to eat, even though they would have gotten purged anyways. Only thing that would have been better was him finishing the food and seeing his face when there was no kayak for him. I did not realize that there's only 3 kayaks, but you are completely right. That is so funny that TJ was like, hurry up and eat, man, and then they were still gonna get purged no matter what. That is perfect. That now I really wish there was a moment where Fessy did get all that food down and then run over to the kayaks and then there was nothing there. That would have been, oh my gosh. Sienna says, if Leroy suddenly proposes to Cam during the reunion, I'm not even gonna be surprised. Him talking about wanting to start his life with Cam after this challenge season, seeing him get married to her, having kids with her. Now to me, I'm expecting to see a proposal. I'm not gonna be upset if we don't, but I'm kind of like anticipating it. I think it would be amazing. Oh my goodness, that would be such a great moment. Strive for Greatness says, I'm really happy that Fessy didn't win. It sucks for Casey though, cause she put in a lot of work. I wish Leroy would have won since it's his final season, but I'm not mad at the results either. Can't wait for next season. I think everyone is on the same page that they are happy to see anybody but Fessy win. Struggling a Tart says, I've had issues with the season, but I must say this final episode was so well edited. From everyone calling Fessy out, Corey reading him perfectly, LOL, to great confessionals, and mostly giving us a super amazing ending, like when they were just sitting around hugging each other, intercut with their confessionals. I got so emotional. It was so good to see everyone have their highs and lows and focus on the positives. I'm so proud and love the top 3 pairs. Yeah, I thought that was a great moment. And to have like the Breakfast Club underneath it, I did feel like, oh, this is like one of the better endings where everyone just got a moment to breathe in the moment on top of this peak, looking out and just being like, we did it. No matter where you ended on this challenge season, in this final, everyone just got the sense of just being in the moment together and just being like, we did it. I liked it a lot. Morgan comments, I can't wait for the reunion to see what crap comes out of Fessy's mouth about his performance and CT and Amber's win. The ending is bittersweet to me because I love Leroy and don't want to see this be his last season, but to hear him talk about Cam and his time with the show was amazing. It was really good. I just wish the montage was a little bit better. Maybe I'll be putting together my own montage in some way for the channel very, very soon. And the final comment comes from Kay, who says, what I will miss is us collectively dragging Fessy weekly. Well, we have one more week of that going on because we have the reunion next week where it seems like the whole cast is going to be dragging him one more time, and we're going to be able to get to watch that and talk about it next week. But that is it for this week's Tiny Table Talk. What'd you think about this season? What'd you think about these finals? Let me know that in the comment section below. And what do you think about that teaser at the end of this episode? Do you think that it's just like oh, Challenge 37 is coming? Or do you think they're going to continue with the spy thing through the next season? I think they are going to do the spy thing for next season, maybe like a double Agents 2, because we got War of the Worlds and War of the Worlds 2 right after each other. So I feel like they like to do these sequels right after one another, and I think they're going to continue the spy thing. So I feel like I'm not going to be surprised if we're going to see a double Agents 2. I just hope they tweak it in a way. From what I've seen, this is a quick turnaround, just like it was last season. So I'm hoping that they put together enough production and enough counseling to figure out exactly what the shortcomings were of this season heading into next season. But we're going to have to wait to see what's going on. Who are you hoping to see next season? And are you excited for the reunion where they're going to drag Fessy, it seems? Let me know anything and everything you thought about in the comment section below. But thank you so much for watching. While you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be back really, really soon with more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.